Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cinema A to B. Today, Ben and I are going to talk about the 2000 film Unbreakable by M. Night Shyamalan. Ben, this is our first M. Night movie that we've talked about. You and I put a bunch together what we want to chat about, and we talked about Unbreakable. We said we should do that first. So, your thoughts? Why did you want to talk about this M. Night movie first?
Because this is my favorite one.
Gotcha.
And objectively, I think it's his best.
Mm-hmm.
Based more on rewatchability than on a one-time through viewing, Sixth Sense is probably objectively probably his best work. But on a rewatch, which it had been a long stinking time since I'd watched this movie through, and in fact I'd forgotten a bunch of stuff. I didn't forget the twist, it wasn't like that, but just how we get there, I'd forgotten quite a bit of it, and so it was very fresh. I'll get to the negatives first, and then so the negative for me is that the film is not paced as well as I remembered. It's pretty slow. It's kind of painfully slow in places, but with that being said, I think the payoff is worth it.
Yeah,
and there is a moment where it really gets going, where Bruce Willis's character really starts to be convinced of his own abilities. And then that sequence is super impressive, where he finally ventures to follow that guy that he brushed with in the train station that has done horrible things. Yeah. And that sequence held up really well. It's just got a rawness to it. The rain. This is my favorite one. I felt even more convinced of that after a rewatch. That the score is really nice. It was deceptively well scored. Samuel L. Jackson's tremendous in the role. And Willis just gives a really nice, controlled performance in this, almost understated.
Very understated.
And I didn't realize it when I first watched this, because I was like 18 or 19 when this came out. Yeah. I did not realize that Bruce Willis's character in this movie is dealing with severe depression. It went completely over my head. And it's central to the film is him pushing away his wife and his son and being by himself and wanting to move. It's all a man battling depression. I think it's more relevant now than it was 25 years ago.
Yeah. With
the rates of depression and suicide amongst men in the United States, that part of it is extremely important. And so it's almost less, the superhero element's really, really cool. And I remember when the trailers came out, the teasers, they were really nicely done. Reminded me of the way Nolan will tease a film now, where it was they had a website that was nothing but airline crash, Columbia, 1976, 300 dead, 2 survivors.
Yeah.
And it was real creepy and eerie. And so it was the interest was peaked. I was this was a pretty good event film in 2000 when it came out. And yeah, I still dig it. I'm curious where you kind of fall with it though.
So this was actually the first M. Night Shyamalan movie I watched. I did not actually see Sixth Sense. I ended up seeing it 6 years later after they made it, and no one had
6 years later, really?
Yeah.
The sixth year.
Yeah, the 6th year. But and I actually, no one has spoiled it for me. Somehow I avoided spoilers for that. Yeah, so I had no idea what going in. However, I liked this movie a lot. I definitely, kind of like you, didn't catch everything. I really enjoyed what happened. I remember it feeling slow. Just rewatched this, and it's still... So I wrote down basically this movie feels like it's 2 hours long, and it's not. It's an hour 45, right? So this movie feels 15 minutes longer than it actually is. But I said it's very plotting, but not really in a bad way. I was watching it this time, I was never really bored, but I definitely didn't feel like it moved at any type of pace whatsoever. Also for the fact that it's crazy how little dialogue Bruce Willis actually has in this movie.
Yeah.
He's the lead, and I think he talks less than most of the other characters in this film. He doesn't really say that much, doesn't have that most of the conversation. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, probably has the most dialogue out of everybody in the entire movie. And it's just the little things I noticed. But I do want to say, while it did feel long, it didn't feel like I wasn't checking my watch. I wasn't like shifting in place. I was still engrossed in the story. And I will say this is probably my second favorite going onward now. For me, I think my favorite M. Night is Split. I just really, really like that one a lot. I think the name escapes me. The actor who plays McAvoy is stunning in that, like just absolutely amazing. But this is a close second. And I think until just really thinking about it and watching it a second time, I would have told you this was my favorite. But I think after watching it, I was like, I think I just Split takes out just a little bit of just character acting wise where this one doesn't have it. But anyways, I digress. This is, like you said, I don't feel like the twist is nearly as impressive as like Sixth Sense or some of maybe the others.
Doesn't need to be.
No, but it still is. It's still there, and it almost feels I almost like it better than most of the other twists, just because it feels so, smaller in a sense of it's not like, oh, it changes my entire opinion of everything. It's more of just like, we should have seen this coming, like knowing all of these things of how involved Samuel L. Jackson really was with this and how big into comics and big into finding these things that it shouldn't have been a big surprise for us to go, hey, interesting. These kind of scenarios. So I don't know. I really like this film a lot. I think it's quite excellent. I do like James Newton Howard's score. I agree with you. It is very not there for the most part, though. It's not, and by that I mean it's not in your face. Like
No.
I really couldn't tell you much about the score from it. It just fit the mood of the movie. Like it was just kind of there in the background. It gave you kind of those emotional cues in some parts, but for the most part, it's not like you're not watching like an Avengers film where you're getting the
but it does. There is a score element when he's in the train station, finally taking advantage of like all his abilities to like brush up against people and sense whether they've done some sort of wrong, and that piece of music's really, really nice.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bombastic and full. But yeah, you're right. The rest of it's like kind of, and it matches the movie. Honestly, a lot of the rest of the movie's very subdued. And the whole movie's in a lot of blues and kind of grays. The way the color grade is very washed out. There's not a lot of heavy saturation, but it's still a really nice looking movie. The lighting's really good. You've got a heck of a cast going in this with Bruce and Jackson and Robin Wright, and then Spencer Treat Clark as Joseph, who is in Gladiator the same year. You got
Michael Kelly as the ER doctor after the train theft, which I love Michael Kelly. I think he's
well, and I love that. I love that
great.
Whole exchange of like, why are you looking at me like that? And he's like, well, because as of right now, there's two survivors of this train crash, and one of the other gentleman's over there. And once he passes away, it's going to be you, and you don't have a scratch on you. And I think that was in the original teaser, so they definitely piqued your interest of like, hey, what's going on? But you didn't really. It was never marketed as like a modern mythology superhero film.
Yeah.
At least in the initial teasers, it was more of like, there's been this horrible accident. He's somehow survived, and
why?
Yeah. And so the movie, what it lacks in pacing, it definitely gives you in a journey with an unknown destination. Like you don't know where stuff's going. I never found this movie particularly predictable.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't. I mean, there was that whole thing when he comes off the balcony into the pool. But it's likely this is it. Like, the movie's not giving me a whole lot of reasons to believe, like, something great's going to happen. Like, it's been a bunch of dark, kind of dreary, dismal. Yeah, like, if it's raining outside, throw on Unbreakable, because this is kind of how it feels. It feels like a rainy day.
Yeah.
Like even in scenes where it's not raining, the movie feels like a rainy day. But yeah, I think the modern mythology superhero thing's really cool, but the pacing doesn't really match that audience. Like, so I don't think a lot of people that are into that gravitated towards this movie. What I do think its strength is more of the end of a guy struggling with purpose.
Yeah. And the character building that it does, of the relationship building between both him and his son, and then him and his wife.
I found the reconnection. That's what was most powerful to me. Was in a rewatch at 43 versus 18, was watching David and Audrey, watching their marriage come back together. That was like, it was as satisfying as seeing him like figure out what he was capable of. And it's only done in a couple scenes. By the way, I totally forgot that the son pulls a gun on him. I was like, I forgot about that scene. I was like, my gosh, I totally forgot about that sequence. And I still wondered, I was like, man, in the context of the movie,
would he get shot? Like, would the bullet bounce off, or would it bounce off? Would he get actually hit? Is that what you're thinking about?
I theorized what would happen.
All right.
In the world that he's in, no, I don't think the bullet would bounce off him. I think the gun would just misfire. Like I think his abilities to avoid injury like are more nuanced and subtle than like somebody would either just straight up miss him, or the gun would jam, or like.
So it's like he's kind of more has an aura that keeps like things that are coming to harm, like the glass or the shards from the train, just kind of floated around him. Interesting. Okay. Yeah,
because you're right. In the train, like there's no cuts.
Yeah. Doesn't have a scratch.
And the same deal when he wrecked the car with Audrey when he was. By the way, I really appreciated that they didn't put a big wig on Bruce Willis and say, okay, you're in college now. Like they used to be apt to do that, right? In movies, they'd be like, okay, Bruce, just put a wig on, change Robin Wright's hair, put a little more makeup on her, and they're in college now, right?
Yeah, no.
Like what they did with, what movie was that?
It was Christopher Walken.
It was Walken in a flashback sequence in
Suicide Kings.
And
just gave him more hair.
Yeah. No, I was glad that they recast both those, and they found people that really
did a great job of.
They looked like them. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think the gun would have just straight up misfired.
Okay.
It probably would have misfired and then killed Joseph. It was blew his hand off or something.
I'm glad we didn't go that.
I don't know if he inherited the gift.
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't get to see that. That's
it's a tough scene.
Yeah, it's a very tense scene like that in and of itself, because I mean the kid is so like it's not going to hurt you.
And
this is how we know.
I love the way the writing's really good there, and Bruce's performance is great when he kind of turns the switch and realizes he's not going to be able to like use a normal method to talk his son out of like shooting him, and he says like, you know what's going to happen if you shoot me? I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm going to New York and I'm not coming back. Why? Because I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
I thought we were getting to be friends again, and friends don't shoot each other.
That's good advice for everybody.
I was like, what else? What other card did he have to play at that point? That was perfect. That made it fit the character of like, no, he has got no other recourse here. And that worked. And yeah, the tension of that scene's awful. I don't understand where M. Night lost his way.
Well, I think honestly for me, I think it is everyone expected all those movies to have that twist. And he writes his own stuff for the most part. I know, like, I think.
Well, he's pretty much a writer. I would classify him totally as a writer-director. And
so it's kind of like, well, this is what people expect. Maybe I have to figure out new ways. And I mean, it didn't. Again, I look at movies like Split came much later after what I would say kind of started to lose his way. I thought that was really good. Glass was not good, unfortunately. I haven't seen some of the new ones. The one trap that he just.
I've seen nothing. Like, I haven't even seen Split. So I have not seen.
Is Signs the last one that you saw?
The Village is the last movie I saw.
The Village? Okay. Yeah.
So I never saw Lady in the Water. I saw scenes of The Happening and laughed my butt off because it's so bad.
Yeah. Laura loves that one, by the way. But Laura is also a self-proclaimed M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong fan.
That is what we. That's not new. That's what we've been calling forever.
But so I will say, Split with.
Yeah, I need to see Split then.
Is good. Skip Glass. You don't need to. I haven't watched Devil or Trap or the Old at all, so I'm interested in watching the newest one, Trap, with
Hartnett.
with Hartnett in it. So I'm interested to see what that one's about, to see kind of where he's at in his directorial whatever journey. See if he's come back a little bit, or if it's still, hey, we got to make it as where's the twist ending? So
yeah, I think you're right. I think he fell victim to feeling like he had to deliver on that again and
some
again
of them,
and again.
I like the Village one, like that. It's interesting, but overall, I really didn't.
So I find,
like it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk at length about The Village, but I actually find the bulk of the movie, The Village, really cool and compelling. And then I almost don't need the twist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like a double twist.
Yeah.
And the first twist is sort of predictable, but kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second twist, I just don't even need. Like, I'm like, it almost added nothing to the.
It didn't.
To the movie. I was like, all right. I mean, well, I guess there was an explanation of why they were doing what they were doing, but no, I think The Village is fine. It's some of his stuff, like Signs on IMDb is rated like a 6.8. I think that movie's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Alfred Hitchcock would have created an alien invasion film, it would look like Signs. I think that movie's tremendous. The Village was okay, but yeah, I just heard horrible things about Lady in the Water, and really after that, I just stopped watching his stuff. I hate that I say that, because he was like a freaking hot ticket from he had about a 5-year run.
But I'm gonna tell it for all our listeners that tonight's Avatar: The Last Airbender is our favorite Avatar: The Last Airbender version of all time. It's so much better than the TV show.
My daughter would disagree with you.
I know, I'm just kidding. I just say that because just to anger so many people, because it's so not true.
Yeah, I know. And she's all about Avatar. Oh yeah, she loves it. She's watched all of it, and she was so disappointed that they delayed season 2 by like a full year.
Oh wow!
Because it was supposed to come out. Season 2 of Avatar, the TV show, was supposed to come out February.
Oh, wow.
She was talking about it during Christmas. She's like, I can't wait till February. Season 2 is going to come out. And it's been delayed.
Oh, so this is not I'm behind. Did they do like a different version? Because there's the cartoon one that was
a really nicely done live action.
Oh,
series.
Interesting. And
it's excellent.
Okay.
Visually, it's superb.
Interesting. I wonder.
She loves the cartoon. Yeah, she loves the cartoon. She's seen the movie. Meh. I think she shares your opinion on it. But no, she loves the new TV show, and was very disappointed that season 2 is delayed. And I was like, well, it's kind of normal. All these
stuff.
Visual effects, it's going to take a while. But yeah, no, I mean, M. Night, there's no doubting the guy's talent. It's just that
Go ahead.
It's just one of these guys, these rare instances where like his earliest work is his best work.
I actually wonder so much of like, maybe he had ideas for The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, maybe Signs. And then at that point, studios were like, hey, M. Night, we want you to make a movie. We'll give you money for a movie, but it has to have a twist. Like, we need to have a twist. And so I wonder how much of that was he couldn't get films that didn't have twist endings from studios. Like, they wouldn't let him, create something else, or how much of that was he just leaned into like, this is my brand, this is what I'm doing. I'd be really interested in that, because I think I think he's a great writer. I mean, his dialogue, even in a lot of his movies, is still really well done, and a lot of times they're interesting. I just don't always agree with the premise or with the twist or a lot of things of how he tries to tie everything together. But I mean, you look at Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs; these are all absolutely excellent.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I mean,
again, sit down, watch Split. I'd like to see your take on it. I mean, a lot of it is, for me, McAvoy's performance in it, but I think the dialogue in it is just excellent as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I need to watch that, and I'll probably, even though you don't like it that much, I'll probably, if I'm going to spend the time to watch Split, I'll probably watch Glass. Just just so I get a sense of what he was trying to accomplish, even though I think it probably didn't work. I did have a coworker that saw Old that kind of liked the premise, but
I just felt like Old, like the previews gave it all away. Yeah. Like
I don't know.
At that point, I'm like, what do I need to see? So, but I don't know. That's beside the point. Yeah. So we have definitely turned this into more of an M. Night episode than an
Well, I mean, hey, that's fine. It's a 25-year-old movie. Like, it's not. I mean, yeah, I would say the pacing is problematic, especially compared to the movies, around in that era from him, and even the modern stuff he's made I don't think suffer from pacing issues that Unbreakable does. But yeah, it's sort of deceptive because it's almost more of a character piece than it is. There's almost no action in it, very little.
It does. I will say it does have one of my scariest moments that I feel like it happened to me in real life kind of scenario of when Chance Kelly goes to the guy's house and he gets a flashback of him going to the guy's house and I like your house and then just bust through him. Like that gave me nightmares for a while. That stuff scares me more than like a conventional supernatural kind of horror film. Yeah. That's like straight out of like Mind Hunters. Yeah.
Like,
just something
just straight up serial killer stuff. Yeah. That whole scene's like,
which by the way was
super sad, and he doesn't save the mom. Like,
no. I mean, at that point it'd been probably too long and she'd probably been abused too much. And it's very rough. That shot where Bruce was out on the balcony and they get the curtains to blow just right. And it's like 1 second, there's nobody there. And then the next second, the man in orange is in the orange jumpsuit's there. Played brilliantly by Chance Kelly of Generation Kill fame.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that whole scene's really cool. And then my favorite moment in the whole movie is when they're at the Dunn's kitchen table. And they're already, Bruce Willis and Robin Wright are already awake and they're getting on really well. And he's got the newspaper and the kid's like half awake pouring some orange juice. And he slides the newspaper over that says like, unknown vigilante like rescues. In that moment that they share of like, you were right. Like he mouths it, dude. The acting there's really good, and it's such a powerful moment. That's my favorite moment in the whole movie.
Yeah,
because it's like the son had never lost faith. Like even when David had like just pushed him away and pushed him away and pushed him away, he was like, I know what you are. Like all the evidence is there, and even if you can't see it, and that moment they share is awesome.
And I love kind of how you talked about like this is a movie about depression and how even Samuel L. Jackson talks about the fact of like, you're not doing your purpose. This is why you feel aimless. This is why you feel, empty, this way.
Yeah.
And so when he finally does it, you can just see the change in Bruce Willis's character that next morning of kind of how happy he seems. He's more vibrant than he has been in the entire movie. And that's a very cool moment to have as well, of just kind of to see that change of he's got his purpose.
The twist got me when the first time I watched it, like it got my dad too, like, and most everybody in the theater. But I don't think it was that the viewers didn't think that Samuel L. Jackson's character Elijah was a little off kilter or even not capable of like doing some shady stuff. But it like when the reveal is that this guy is a mass murdering terrorist, that's the twist.
Yeah.
It's not even that he looks like, a villain or whatever, although we should have seen all that coming. But even if you knew that no one was willing to go to a dark enough place to think that character is the one that was responsible for airlines crashing and trains derailing and buses explode, like you couldn't even go there. Like even if you thought he was a super villain, you would have thought his aims were like greed or something, or You know what I mean? Like amassing wealth. Like, so it was totally how dark it got in that, you know, it's just hilarious to me that at the end of this ramp in his studio, it's just all there.
Yeah.
Like four like G4 Macintoshes running like code and then like schematics, and he's not even trying to hide it. It's like, well, this is where I plan to blow stuff up. Like, I mean,
yeah, he just wanted to find his counterpart. That's really what it was. It was just, that's his goal. Now he can be happy. Relatively. You know? That was his goal.
To be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like finding, I just don't understand. I guess I need to watch Glass, but it seems so short-sighted because it's like with Elijah, he did all these heinous things just to discover a superhero in Dunn. But then what then? Like, if he wouldn't have been apprehended, what would he have continued to do like bad stuff in an aim to try to get David to stop him?
No, I think it was more of he wanted to find out his own place in the world, and that was how he did it. Like, he just was.
So he was just satisfied after that.
Yeah,
like,
he was just like, I have found that I have a purpose. I am the evil counterpart to Bruce Willis's hero. You know,
maybe he would have just kept doing it.
Yeah, maybe.
He would have just kept trying to find more of them.
Yeah. Though Bruce Willis, you did kind of give away your secret. You know how to get you water to your arch nemesis.
Yeah, but I think it was like a Batman Joker situation. I don't think he'd want to kill him.
No.
I don't think Elijah would want to kill Dunn at all. Like, no.
No, this is my foil.
And then there is a level of nuance to it because Elijah's like telling him, this is what you're capable of. These are your abilities. Now go help people.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really screwed up because he like killed hundreds in order for Dunn to save those siblings.
Yeah. Like 2 kids.
But for him, that's worth it. But like, he doesn't impede Dunn like saving people. It's kind of messed up, man. It's even more layered than you think. Like, it's so not even like black and white, but it's like, yeah. I was never a big fan though of like the end text.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I swear it seems like there's a verbiage spelling error in there.
I didn't catch it if there is.
I think it says like, you know, Elijah was sentenced to like a prison or something for the criminally insane, or based on evidence of, I think it says like where evidence of several instances of terrorism was found. It's like was instead of were. Like, I don't know. Okay. It always kind of drove me nuts, but this conversation's not even going to make the cut, so I don't even know why I'm saying it. It's
Ben's already editing in his head.
I'm self-editing.
Yeah. This is dumb. I went off on a tangent that I shouldn't have. Oh, well,
let's pull it up real quick.
Okay.
I got it because I'm just curious what you think about this. And this won't make the cut, but I want to know your thoughts on this because it always read like it was incorrect grammar.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get it to. David Dunn led authorities to limited edition where evidence of 3 acts of terrorism was found.
Oh, it should be were. Yeah, not was.
That's in the cut.
That's it. Wow. Okay.
David Dunn led authorities to limited edition where evidence of 3 acts of terrorism was found. Yeah, I was
found. Yeah, no.
Were found.
They were found.
Yeah.
You're correct, sir.
Shame for the criminally insane.
Shame. We're gonna.
You know what it was, David?
The kids.
No, Samuel L. is awesome in that role. He's really good. He's so good. Oh, and you feel so bad for the guy, like when he falls down the subway.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like worth it for him because it's like it's confirmed.
He's like, he had a gun, the exact one that you had in your head.
So, I mean, Dunn, in the realm of superhero-dom, Dunn's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Superhuman strength, of which I don't know if there's a limit, because they just kept adding more. Pretty much physically impervious to any sort of physical ailment. And then he's got an element of like clairvoyance. That's pretty, sounds suspiciously like X-Men to me. And you got McAvoy from Split, so who's Professor X anyway. So like, it's. Yeah.
All I can say is, hey, you know what? It's a good thing that he brought up that he'd never been sick, because he got $40 extra a week.
A week? What a cheapskate. Guy's like, all right, I get it. But no more than $40 a week. I'm like,
let's see, what is $40 and $2,000 worth today?
Probably $80.
Yeah, about $75 basically.
74.29.
Wow, that's nothing for never being sick. My goodness, get a better job, buddy.
Yeah, would he have just kept? It's like $3,000 a year raise, but I don't know. I think he could do better freelancing.
So this one actually did pretty well at the box office. So
it did. Was it like 200 million maybe, or
it was almost worldwide. It was almost 250 million,
okay.
And the budget was about 75 million.
Okay.
So and the U.S. alone did 95 million of that 250. So you had a big portion of the world really saw us and bumped it up. So, and the great, I mean, you had an all-star crew as well. I mean, you obviously had James Newton Howard as the composer, but you had the cinematographer, went on to be the cinematographer for Blood Diamond, Defiance, Harry Potter 7 and 8. Mm-hmm. Your editor went on and did Zero Dark 30, There Will Be Blood.
Oh, wow.
Royal Tenenbaums, Boogie Nights.
Who's the editor?
Dylan Tichenor, I think. Tykhenor. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Probably Academy Award-winning editor.
Yeah. So, but like, so you have someone who these people went on and did, like, you have an all-star crew in addition to your cast.
Yeah. No, it shows. Yeah, on any technical level, the movie's precision crafted. It's just the pace. The pace you have to, and I'm trying to think of what era the pace even would feel more like. Maybe a 70s film to a little bit of an extent, but
like early 70s maybe. Like in some ways, like I kind of felt like it's the same kind of pace as like All the President's Men, where there's just kind of not a ton going on, and you're moving forward to the end goal, but it's not always. And in some cases, All the President's Men is paced better than this. But again, I wasn't bored. Like I wasn't thinking about this, but it did feel like, oh, it was only an hour and 45. No, I thought it was 2 hours. It did. It felt 2 hours.
How much longer on them sausages, Turkish? You got anything else?
I do not. I do not.
Well, that closes out a sort of a discussion on Unbreakable and the career of M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. And yeah, the guy's still an amazing talent. I just think he's attracted to a certain kind of story that he wants to tell, and maybe he's just kind of struggling to keep that fresh. But yeah, the insistence on the twist, I'd like to see him do something without it, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in this week, and no breaks scheduled in here upcoming. We just can keep the train rolling through and hopefully record frequently enough that we don't miss any weeks. We love doing this, and there's some new slate of films starting to come out here as we approach late spring, early summer. So confident we'll have plenty to talk about, and we will catch you next week.
Thanks, everybody.